Our next speaker is Reverend Jamil A. Campbell, a vibrant 30-year-old African-American hospice chaplain. Life's Journey Hospice is dedicated to both his faith and community. Pursuing a Master of Divinity, Jamil is a proud member of Light of the World Christian Church. Drawing inspiration from the Black Liberation Theology is how Jamil formed his personal voice. He also serves as chaplain for the town of Plainfield, ensuring spiritual well-being and public safety. Jamil's journey embodies the fusion of faith, education, and community, reflecting his commitment to unity, justice, and spiritual renewal. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Jamil Campbell.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity to PSL. Indy, I appreciate the opportunity. I think that I'm one of the first faith-based speakers for PSL. I think that's what I was told. So thank you all so much for taking that leap, because I do believe that we intersect as it relates to liberation for all people. Because if you believe in a real Christianity, then that means all people need to be able to live free, live full, and live faithfully. So if you'd allow me to share just some quick convictions of a speech called Life Beyond Conformity. Today we gather in the spirit of liberation under the auspices of a powerful observance that resonates through history and ignites our collective conscience, Black August. This sacred month invites us to journey through the annals of time, to walk alongside heroes and heroines who dared to challenge oppression and breathe life into the very essence of freedom. Black August, a commemorative observant that spans this month, is not merely a date on the calendar. It's a reminder of the indomitable spirit of the African Americans who faced adversity with unwavering resolve. It's a homage to our ancestors, those whose brave souls stared down injustice, resisted tyranny, and left an indelible mark on the tapestry of our shared narratives. As we traverse through Black August, we walk beside the giants of liberation who, despite being confined behind bars, transformed their imprisonment into a platform. I'm reminded of George Jackson, this revolutionary incarcerated within the San Quentin State Prison, whose writings ignited the flames of awareness and activism. His words were not just ink on paper, but they were blueprints of identity reacclamation. Jackson's narrative unfolded within the grim walls of incarceration, yet he saw through the oppressive facade and pinpointed the real oppressor, a system that aimed to dehumanize, control, and obliterate our identities. His journey, though confined, was a mirror reflecting the larger struggle of our people. This struggle for identity and liberation finds its kinship in the Black church, a sacred place of refuge and resistance. The Black church stands as a sort of epicenter of our struggle for identity and liberation. Its walls echo the sentiments of Dr. King's letter from a Birmingham jail, where he eloquently wrote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." Here, within these sacred walls, spirituality and activism meld, creating an environment where strength and tenacity can flourish. It's within the embrace of Black church that we unearth this origin called Black Liberation Theology, an empowering framework dissecting faith, oppression, and transformation. Just as Jackson discerned the true oppressor beyond prison bars, Black liberation theology unveils the disordered doctrines that perpetuate inequality and conformity. In the spirit of James H. Cole's wisdom, Black liberation theology is the theological arm of Black power. Black liberation theology becomes a beacon that guides us through the labyrinth of oppression. Cone's words resonate with Jackson's journey because they intersect at the crossroads of identifying who the true oppressor is. Black August becomes a canvas on which we can paint the portraits of resistance, resilience, and revolution. It's a reminder that our power lies not in just acknowledging our history, but in taking that history and forging a future for liberation. Cone's revolutionary stance unveils how oppressive structures seek to strip us of our humanity, breeding conformity to an imperial image. Similarly to Jackson's prison life, It's exemplified in this struggle, the fight to reclaim one's identity and resist conforming to the narrative imposed by the oppressor. The Black church emerged as a cornerstone of Southern liberation movements, resonating with Cone's proclamation, Christianity is not a fundamentally religious ideology, but it is the liberation of the oppressed. Beyond being a sanctuary of worship, it should beckon us to action, affirming our value and emphatically declaring that oppression finds no place within our identity. From these sacred pews to the seeds of Black liberation theology were sown, entwined with the teachings of Christ, who in his ministry stood unwaveringly alongside the marginalized and the sick. It's our chance now to organize our efforts despite our disagreements, because our journeys too intersect at the crossroads of identifying our oppressor, the capitalistic system. So in this narrative of George Jackson, in the theology of James H. Cone, the voice of the Angola Three, with the tenacity of Fannie Lou Hamer, and the stance of Dr. King, we find the threads of identity, resistance, and liberation interwoven. Our journeys toward liberation, a journey that began long ago, is far from over. So today we must continue to stand against the oppressive forces, armed with the wisdom of those who preceded us. We draw strength from their legacies and recognize that our identities, far from being defined by others, are a mosaic of resilience and defiance. As we stand at this juncture, let us remember the words of Howard Thurman. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. It's time for us to awaken, to come alive in our identities and shatter the imperial image that seeks to chain us. Let us rise together and ensure that our journeys toward liberation continues in the footsteps of those who have illuminated the path. In closing, let us embrace our identities with pride and challenge the narrative that seek to confine us. Let us heed to the wisdom of the ages, the call to action from the past, and urgency of our present. Let us rise united, emboldened by the voices of history, and march onward towards this future of liberation, where liberation will no longer be just a dream, but a reality that we can live in. Just as George Jackson's narrative exposed the real oppressor, let us expose the systemic forces that perpetuate oppression. Let us invoke the spirit of Black liberation theology, driving us to actively dismantle these oppressive systems and empower the marginalized. Our journey is boundless, and as we move forward, let us remember the unity of our purpose that binds us as liberators, as torchbearers, and as a force for enduring change, for embracing our identities and rejecting these oppressive norms. We are the liberators that we've been waiting for. So live full, live free, and live faithfully. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Campbell. That was an excellent presentation. I was thinking through your speech, like, you're definitely hit it right there, that we are the liberators that we've been waiting for. Like, no one is coming to save us. Jay-Z's not coming to get us. Beyonce and them, they ain't coming to get us. So, it's on us. It's on all of us to figure out a way to work together to make things better for our class, for working class people. And I think the church is very important in this Gary Harrell case in putting our plans together and in motion, because the family, as well as comrades, have been meeting at a church on the east side to make our plans for justice for Gary Harrell.